Gold Ambassador with Plexus. I was asked by my upline to do a training Tuesday for you guys. And so my call and little training for you is titled, Don't Grow Weary in Doing Good. So I want to start off with the story of Jericho and Joshua. If you don't remember, that's when Joshua was the leader of the Israelites at that point in time. And they had been in the wilderness for 40 years. Okay, so they'd been wandering around, tired, ready to go into the promised land that the Lord had promised them. And there was one city that was holding them from going there and going to the promised land, and that was Jericho. And so one day the Lord spoke to Joshua and told him, Joshua, if you do this, this, and this, and you walk around the city once a day for 6 days, and then 7 times on the 7th day, all the walls will come tumbling down. Well, the faith that Joshua had was magnificent because he didn't doubt the Lord. He knew that God promised them the promised land. And so he trusted that whatever the Lord commanded him, and he said that he had given him the city of Jericho, that the Lord would just make it available once they did these things. And so Joshua trusted the Lord, as did his army, and they did exactly what the Lord commanded. And what do you know? The walls came tumbling down, and they seized Jericho and were able to go into the promised land. So with that, and how that applies to Plexus, you're like, I have no idea. Well, let me tell you. So a lot of times in our Plexus journey, we get really discouraged, and we see the vision and we see our promised land of being an emerald, a diamond, going to Maui, financial freedom, having our husbands be home and retired, blessing our kids, paying off debt, opening an orphanage, whatever the case may be, whatever, the promise that God has put in our heart, which I'm titling our promised land that the Lord has given to us. We get weary. We get weary in doing good. And it's kind of like we're stuck in the wilderness. Like, Lord, am I ever going to get there? Are people going to catch the vision? Are people going to believe in me as a leader? Do I even believe that I can succeed? Am I even equipped to do this? How am I going to get there? When am I going to get there? All these questions and all these doubts always arise in us. And we get stuck in that wilderness wandering. So that is the time when you really need to focus on the Lord and focus on that promise that He's given to each of us. And I truly believe that all of us who are part of Plexus are here for a reason, and it's by the Lord's divine appointment. In my heart, that's truly what I believe. And we all have different things, and we all have different dreams, and some may coincide and be the same, and some may not, but they're all a dream and a goal that God has put in our hearts. So they're all valuable, and we all will get there if we do not lose heart and we keep our eyes focused on the Lord. So the verse I want to share with you guys is Galatians 6:9, and it says, "And let us not grow weary in doing good, for in due season we shall reap if we do not lose heart." So cling on to that verse, gems. I want you to really focus on that dream and that promised land, so to speak, of what God has put in your heart. And when you're going through, that wilderness of whatever's happening, trust in the Lord and listen to what He is commanding you to do, so that you can get there. And it may feel like it's going to be 40 years of going in the wilderness, of going round and round. But it's going to be worth it when we get into that promised land and you are fulfilling the dream and goal that God has set out for you to complete for His glory and His will. So I hope that blesses you guys. I hope you have a wonderful, amazing week, and truly keep your eyes on that promised land that God has shown and given to each of you, and walk through that wilderness until you get there. Keep on pushing, gems. Love you guys. Go Plexus.